CNN states that most teens spend over 9 hours on social media every day, which is more time than they spend in school. Technology and social media are a huge part of today's society. LCJSMS students now have an iPad for school. We have smartphones, computers, and laptops, which we're able to use when necessary. Children have become so accustomed to technology being associated with schools because we are provided these devices. However, the idea of sitting in a classroom and learning, even with these devices accessible, is still commonly perceived as boring or uninteresting. But what if there was a way to learn somewhere outside of the classroom that's equally as effective for student learning? If students find social media so much more appealing in school, why not create a social media-like platform that can educate them in the same way, but in a way they don't find so boring? So that's what I did. Over the past 7 months, I built, designed, and created a website meant to educate students through the internet. With over 50 posts, I created a platform where I could explore information to be shared and attempt to draw interest to an education-based website. Let me briefly explain my website. To start, it's called www.lmkinfo or letmeknowinfo.com. And its purpose was to educate teens in a way that was consistent. But I'll get into this purpose more in depth later. Most of the posts cover topics related to math, science, technology, or entertainment, and my expectation for the website was that the entertainment-related posts would draw more attention to the website than the educational ones would. Little did I know that by the end of March, I would receive over 1,000 views on a post about lunar eclipses. Weird, right? You would think that a post about One Direction would get much more views than a post about lunar eclipses. Well, you would be wrong, because this One Direction article got 427 views and the lunar eclipses one got 1,150 views. I put up my first blog post on January 1st. It was a 2015 year in review. It wasn't my best work, and it took me less than 10 minutes to write. On its own, without telling anyone about my website, I got a total of 5 views, which at the time was life-changing to me. I continued posting every day, but now I've started to spread the word. I told everybody about my website, my classmates, my teachers, my grandparents, my relatives, and basically everybody I spoke to. A month and a half later, on February 25th, I received over 600 views on a post talking about the scientific reasoning behind the job. By now, I have an average of 500 to 600 views every day. Many parents argue with their children about spending so much time on their phones and complain that they are addicted to them. I know mine do. In fact, Bill Reed, a professor of psychology at Columbia University, stated that 6 to 10% of smartphone users display signs of internet addiction. While there's currently no standard for what constitutes smartphone addiction, some experts define it as spending more than 7 hours a day on the phone and experiencing disruptions when put off the device. Some would call this withdrawal FOMO, or the fear of missing out, which is something many people, including myself, experience when denied access to their cell phone for an extended amount of time. But what exactly does it mean to be addicted? Well, the dictionary definition of addiction is mentally or physically dependent on a particular substance. But I don't think this means that teens are dependent on Instagram, for example, or I could spend hours on my phone scrolling through Instagram. And I do, but I don't think what's so appealing about it is seeing what other people post, rather than the reward of seeing people's reactions to what you post. Raise your hand if you have an Instagram or Facebook account. If you're raising your hand, it's likely that you know what it's like to post a picture and wait to feel the excitement of people liking or commenting on it. Similar to this, posting on my website showed me what people thought of my website. Before starting this project, I chose technology as my passion and topic for my speech, but I was unsure whether or not I was really passionate about it. After several months of expressing how passionate I was about technology through writing, I soon realized I was also passionate about writing. So what was the point of this? Why does it matter that more people read or commented on certain posts more than others? Well, take a look at this. I wrote this the first day I posted on my website, January 1st. My prediction: I think LMKinfo will receive at least 3 times as many views on entertainment posts than it will on educational ones. To keep track of this, I screenshotted the amount of views at the end of every day. Here's a comparison of the top 3 highest views in each category. Now, I'm not saying that everybody's more interested in education than they are in entertainment, because I'll admit, some of the things I post about aren't the most interesting things to read about, but it does have to say something that over 1,000 people read an article of mine about lunar eclipses, doesn't it? Well, let's see. Before entering the auditorium, I asked that all students write 1 word to describe school and put up the desk. Feel free to see it then. interesting. Anxiety, boring. But with all of these words describing school, a place you go to learn, how is it possible that over 1,000 people learn English without reading a picture? It's interesting that with all of modern technology we're able to use for school, most students still don't find it appealing. Like I said before, it's no surprise that parents and other adults are frustrated by the excessive amount of time that teens spend on social media. Why wouldn't they be? Our parents didn't grow up with Twitter and Instagram, and the information and ideas shared on these platforms are constantly gathering the attention of today's teens. The way the schools choose to create their learning environment has always been changing. First, schools were separated by gender, and then the next big change was collective. Schools separated organized their desks in rows, and then transitioned into clusters, and now sometimes row and chairs. While these might not seem like big changes, they're all ways that schools continue to become more modern, and the most current modernization of schools is adding more advanced technology. All teachers' motive, I assume, is to keep their students engaged and interested in what they're learning, but now it's possible for the students to gain control. The students have the ability and the tools to self-select the information they're learning. So, when thinking about trends in education, look backwards at how educational techniques have evolved, but also look forward at what benefits modern technology can bring us. So I still haven't really answered the question, why? Why is this important? Why is this relevant? And why does this really affect any of us at all? These are some questions I've been asking myself the past couple of months, and I found a few answers. People are always interested in whatever's new. If there's a new iPhone, everyone's going to want to buy it, and if there's new information, everyone's going to want to know about it. This goes back to what I mentioned earlier about the fear of missing out. And with social media at our fingertips, information can be shared quickly into a large variety of people. A survey conducted by MyLife.com reveals that 56% of people are afraid of missing out on events, news, and important status updates if they're away from social networks. So, if the most modern way that schools choose to create their learning environment is through a variety of social media technology, it only makes sense that a website like mine should document the social media. So, this year-long process has brought three very important things to my attention about my viewers, my teachers, and myself. Number one, we all know that social media can be an addiction. A slippery slope consumed by the syndrome commonly referred to as the fear of missing out. If people are away from their email or their Twitter account, information is piled up and key news is missed. People want to learn, and students are interested in learning new things, but the way that the information is delivered can change how interested they are. Throughout my website, I was able to educate students in a way that schools have not, in a way that's more engaging and hands-on and prevents the fear of missing out. It is apparent that many students are passive learners, which means they go to school, they sit in their classes, but they don't make efforts to fully participate in what they're doing. Through websites like mine, technology is creating millions of active learners by bringing them together on social media. Number two, as new technology and education-based sites are created, teachers now have the ability to look at the success of websites like Info and use it to motivate their students to learn in this new modern way. Here's a graph showing the rise in technology versus the rise in test scores in the past 2 decades. What's wrong with this graph? The blue line, the test scores, barely move at all. With all the technology that students are able to use for school, there should be a rise in test scores. But teachers don't use the technological tools to their advantage. Maybe if we made a slight change in how we educate students, the rise in technology could lead to a rise in test scores and a rise in active learning. Number three, I learned that by educating others through my website, I got equally excited about what people thought of it as people were about reading the articles. I thought before starting this project that it might not be successful. People might not want to read my articles, and I might not be excited about writing them. But over time, I realized that it was a win-win situation for me and for the readers, that both I and they were interested and were benefiting from the website. Most importantly, contrary to what I initially thought, I learned that technology is a pastime and an important tool for writing